fucked up. Yeah. It's Gamescom.
Gamescom, Keith.
Calm.
Yeah, you fake.
Calm.
Calm. Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're a fake gamer. Yeah. It's like the European E3 happened today. Without Nintendo, sadly. That's probably because Nintendo doesn't have enough stuff to announce again.
They blew their load completely at E3.
Yeah. No offense to Nintendo.
But it's kind of cool.
Yeah. So it was just Microsoft and Sony today, and this thing happens over in Germany, so they were on at kind of weird times. Microsoft was on at 8 in the morning this morning. So yeah, we are here to talk about everything these two companies had to announce and our thoughts on it. So, like our E3 video, I'll just run down everything that was announced, and then we'll go through and highlight the things that were most interesting to us. So Microsoft started with a new Assassin's Creed Unity trailer. Then they talked about FIFA 15, and there's some like FIFA 15 Xbox One bundle that European gamers can get. Then they talked about there's like ID at Xbox games, there's indie games. They showed off like Massive Chalice, Inside. That's from the people that made Limbo. I know a lot of people are looking forward to that one. Smite is coming to Xbox One. Speedrunners, Goat Simulator's coming to Xbox One. Space Engineer, which looked interesting. Super Hot, which looks interesting. That game's weird. Like, time only moves when you move.
Yeah.
Looks interesting. The Escapist, and they also showed off Below, which looks cool. Then they showed off a new slice of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare single player. Shit blew up. That's all you need to know. But they did announce a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare Xbox One bundle with it has like a custom designed console and controller. You know, this cool design on it, and it comes with a terabyte hard drive. And that is $500, and that comes out November 3rd. And you also get the Day 0 edition of the game. They showed off Evolve. DLC comes first to Xbox One. There's an open beta only on Xbox One in January. They just showed off a new map. Then probably the biggest thing at Microsoft's conference is that Rise of the Tomb Raider, the sequel to 2013's fucking awesome and very amazing Tomb Raider, is only on Xbox One. And they just talked about how it's going to be a better game. Fuck. That comes out holiday 2015. Then they showed off a very lengthy, very awesome gameplay demo of Quantum Break. They showed off Fable Legends, and a beta begins of that October 16th. Scream Ride is like some roller coaster tycoon-like game where you try to kill people on roller coasters, made by Frontier Games. Isn't that who made Trials?
No, they're made by Red Links. Red Links. Because it's Trials Frontier.
Yeah, that's what people are thinking about. There's 2 new cars in Forza Horizon 5. Woohoo.
Yeah, Rolls Royces. Yeah.
But they showed off some Forza Horizon 2 gameplay, such as, very instant multiplayer. The drivatars from Forza 5 are in Forza Horizon 2. There's like 1,000 player clubs. There's these like car meets at Sonic with Tim Hassler. And yeah. Then there's they showed off Ori and the Blind Forest, which looks awesome. Sunset Overdrive got a new trailer, and a new Xbox One bundle with a white console. Only a 500 gigabyte hard drive though. But yeah, then they talked a lot about Halo. Halo 5 Guardians multiplayer beta begins December 29th and lasts for 3 weeks, I think till like January 18th they said. There's the Halo channel, which is kind of replacing Halo Waypoint. And Halo channel is just your hub for everything Halo. And they announced some really cool partnership streaming thing with Twitch. But they did say that Halo 5's multiplayer seemed to me like it's trying to get back to Halo 2 multiplayer, and that they're more focused on small maps, more arena type combat, 4 versus 4, and there's dedicated servers, 1080p, 60 frames per second, that whole fucking bullshit. Yeah, then they talked about Halo Master Chief Collection. They demoed Delta Halo level from Halo 2 with the new graphics and audio, which just looks and sounds great. They said the entire Halo Master Chief Collection is going to have this skill-based matchmaking and leveling system based out of Halo 2. And then they announced the 4th map being remade as a Sanctuary. And then they ended by just saying that preloading your digital pre-orders is coming to Xbox One very soon. What did you guys think?
I felt that Microsoft's conference was really strong. To me, the biggest thing was, Rise of the Tomb Raider being exclusive. It's one of the games from 2015 I'm really looking forward to. It's one of the games I look forward to the most. And the fact that it's only coming to Xbox One just hurts me on the inside. It just sucks. The Quantum Break thing they showed off was also really cool, and how you can kind of change time and warp time and things like that. It's interesting concepts. And then, really, the only things that really caught my eye other than that was how some of these indie games that I've played on the computer before are coming. Playing Smite is coming to Xbox One. Speedrunners is coming to Xbox One, which I hope that means, at least with Speedrunners, that it's eventually coming to the PS4. Maybe Smite too, that'd be awesome. But
I think these games are coming first to Xbox One. I don't know if they're full out exclusive, all of them.
Yeah.
But they're at least first coming to Xbox One.
And then all the Halo stuff made me just... It made me cream. After this, I'm really almost considering sooner than I had even ever anticipated maybe getting an Xbox One. Maybe. There's still a ways off, but Microsoft is trying their damnedest to make me want to buy one. So, yeah. That's really my thoughts, though.
I just, whatever I watched from it, I watched a few different trailers, before we made this video. I was getting wet all day. Take that how you want it. But, the Rise of the Tomb Raider game being exclusively for one console is kind of a, yeah, and you kind of have to ask yourself, it sucks for people to just have a PS4, but, is it, the smartest move for Xbox? Is that really going to bring in, everything that they need? I feel like it was a much bigger game, where it is a big game, I don't know if it's going to, going to be that changing factor as much as, people might think, or, I just don't really know what they're doing with that. It's a good idea, and it's going to, people will want to buy an Xbox One, but I don't know how many people out there
will actually go out and do it.
Yeah, practically are just going to go out and buy one. So that kind of sucks, but, Quantum Break looked pretty cool, especially, because I thought, before the idea I had of the game was basically you could just stop time and, move and whatever and go around and do whatever. But actually they show off some things where you can actually sort of project it somewhere that it just stops, in a little bubble or something, somewhere else, around someone. I still don't have all the full gist on that, but, you can, throw time stops otherwhere, and, I'm not sure if there's going to be more on that they could, dive into, but, yeah, they showed off a little bit more of that game. It was pretty, I kind of got wrapped up in it, it was easy to watch, and, I was enjoying it, and it really kind of brought me in, especially the guys in the suits or whatever that, the time stop didn't affect them or whatever, or something along those lines. Maybe there's this big time stop with a truck, but I don't know if they caused it or whatever. But yeah, it looks pretty interesting. I didn't even watch the Call of Duty thing, but the way I feel about Call of Duty, it was probably very Call of Duty-ish, and it's just Call of Duty. I've never been too big on those games, at least not for a while, but apparently a lot of people are saying it's really good, so who knows? I'm not sure if that's just, people that love Call of Duty, or, just everyone. But yeah, like I said, I didn't watch them, so I can't really say like, oh, Microsoft is better than this one or that one or whatever. But then Sony, I guess they showed off some stuff from Far Cry 4, and that game looks pretty cool. Just now, like 2 years late, starting to play Far Cry 3 and everything, because I would just put it off, and finally got the game. And, you know, Far Cry 4 definitely is going to be pretty cool, especially like the different elements that they didn't have in Far Cry 3, being on a tropical island, such as like snow, and hopefully different animals, like snow types of animals, you know, like different types of like bears or like a yeti or something like that they could put in the game would be kind of neat. Because that's what the Himalayas, you know, you gotta have the abominable snowman. So who knows, it could be like some special hunting thing. But you know, just like seeing how much more you can do with that game, it looks pretty cool. And yeah, Tyler showed me the trailer for Wild. That game looks pretty cool. It looks like some type of Pixar thing, kind of like the Croods or something, I was thinking at first. But, I don't know too much about the game, you know, right now, but it does seem like a big open world, sort of prehistoric game that could be very fun. I'm not sure how much there's going to be to it, because sometimes they'll show stuff that's really cool, and you just never know. Like, if it's a commercial for a movie, they could show all the cool parts, and, you know, that could be it to it. But I don't know. It's very, you know, it makes me want to find out more about it and want to see more from it. Anything else that I missed for Sony? I don't think so. But Far Cry 4 and Wild, they look pretty wild.
Yeah, I think Microsoft.
Can I see the list?
Microsoft, fucking, kind of dominated titties.
Yeah.
I mean, they really came out just swinging, just like at E3. You know, they're definitely. I'll say this: Quantum Break looks absolutely amazing, and graphically, that game looks awesome. Just that whole scene or moment, I guess, in the gameplay demo where, you know, he's going up those stairs, and all of a sudden, you know, shit just went crazy on that bridge, started blowing up, but then time stops. And then he can walk around and, you know, find out, you know, people's emotions and just kind of like bat a can out of the air or something, you know. Just, that game looks fucking sweet. So does Sunset Overdrive. The Halo Master Chief Collection alone makes me want to buy an Xbox One. Like,
God damn it.
Dude.
Why? You know, just think about this. What if Microsoft came out with a lot of this kind of stuff last year?
I know.
Like,
I agree.
This year could have been a completely different story.
I agree. And who knows, like, would Microsoft still be, you know, focusing this much on games if, you know, they hadn't had that colossal fuck up, the Xbox One? You know, I don't know, but Phil Spencer's really, really hitting it on the head. And so there's those 3 exclusives. There's a couple other ones, like maybe, I don't know, Dead Rising 3 looks okay. I'm trying to think. I thought there was another one, but I forget.
Play Titanfall, if you want to do that.
Maybe. Do people still play Titanfall?
I don't know, I haven't played in a little while.
I don't know, I just feel like that game was like, Titanfall! And then it just dropped off. I'm not saying it's a bad game. It feels like it dropped off really bad. I mean, it's a really fun game. But, I thought there was another one, though. But then add Rise of the Tomb Raider to this, and it's just like, it's making it harder and harder for me to sit here and say, no, I will not get an Xbox One. And they really are making the case for people that initially were like, I don't want an Xbox One, you know, I don't want that shit, that piece of turd. And they're really making people, you know, want to buy one. I'm pretty sure there's millions more people out there that have the same mindset as me. It's like, man, it's getting, you know, harder and harder to not go rush out to the store and pick one up.
And it hasn't exactly gotten to that point, Microsoft, they still have to put out a lot of really big games for me to get to this point. But but like if they put out a lot more games, I could see me looking back and like looking at my PS4. And if an Xbox One puts out like a lot of really good games for whatever reason, you'd be like, I fucked up. But at least still at this point, I don't think so.
I don't think that I'll ever have that thought, because I still, even if I got an Xbox One, I still think PS4 is just superior. I feel that it is a better console. But the thing is that it's almost like Microsoft and Sony reversed a little bit, and that Microsoft's really hitting the head on exclusives. While Sony has a ton of exclusives, people are saying there is no exclusives. They're indie games, and they're putting their money into the indie games that people are really, really excited about, such as No Man's Sky, or Alienation, or something like that.
Uncharted 4 is coming out too.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, they have their AAA stuff, but then they also have a lot of indie games. So Sony has, in sheer numbers, a hell of a lot more exclusives than Microsoft and Xbox One has. But if there's enough if Microsoft announces more exclusive games that I'm interested in, then it'd be cool to have an Xbox One to play those exclusive games. PlayStation 4 is where I'm playing multi-platform games, because 1, they look better, 2, they run better, and 3, I can play them with my friends, or at least friends I care about. But having an Xbox One to play Quantum Break or Sunset Overdrive or Fable Legends or Halo or something, it's a justifiable thing. It's becoming more and more justifiable in my eyes. Yeah. Anyways, Fable Legends looks cool. Call of Duty looked like Call of Duty. I'm trying to think. Preloading coming to Xbox One. I mean, I don't download things too much, but that's been on PS4 for a long time now. I'm not trying to start a fan thing. PlayStation's better, but it's been on there for about 2 months now.
Yeah, they're a little bit ahead on the curve. I mean, that's just a fact. You can't get flamed. You can't get butthurt because of that. It's a fact.
Yeah. It seems like even at E3, like Sony was talking about like PlayStation Now, PlayStation Network, and like buying older games and like the actual other stuff in games, and it seems like at least from what Xbox, they're just trying to catch up with games, and like they don't have that like secondary thing. Like PlayStation is kind of relaxed and like sort of kind of here and there like push this and say, hey, this is actually pretty cool. Especially with like joining in other games and stuff like that they're going on now. They just got to it before Xbox.
Like, I feel even if I got an Xbox One, I would never be disappointed with buying a PS4 or playing more on PlayStation 4, because, and this isn't me just being a fanboy, it's just there's more value there. Yeah. There's more games. No. There's PlayStation Plus, which immediately adds more value than games with gold. Sorry. Yeah. And then there's PlayStation Now, which hopefully they switch that around to a subscription service, because I would whack off to that all day. There's Project Morpheus. I mean, there's a lot more value I feel with PS4.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's a whole different video.
I was gonna say don't get messed up with what I was saying, but like I'm just saying there's some games that like the Xbox controller was built, at least because, especially the 360 and the Xbox One controller, were built around being able to play Halo. So, I mean, I play shooters. But then, I'd still play most of my games on the PS4. It'd be like, I might play Call of Duty over there or something, which I don't even play Call of Duty that much. So, let's talk about it.
I don't even think I could play Call of Duty on it, because, to be honest with you, that's one thing that holds me back from Xbox One. That controller blows, at least in my eyes. Sony. That one boring guy stood up there with the glasses, I don't know his name, and was like, the PlayStation 4 has now passed 10 million units, and my boss is here, and I'm glad he's here. Then the Tomorrow Children got announced, and that's from the people that made Pixel Junk Shooter Ultimate, or whatever. Game looked weird. It looked okay, I guess. I don't know. I just don't know much about it. The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, which is like this mystery investigation type thing. I guess finding out what the hell happened to Ethan Carter. Only on PlayStation 4, made by Astronaut Games. Volume, not the band, or not the sound, not the knob.
Not the mathematical term.
Yeah, that's from the people who made. I never played the game, but Thomas Was Alone, and it's supposedly an old school stealth game. It looked like it could be interesting. It looks like, to me, one of those games I would play for free when they hand out PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
Hollow Point and Brewmaster are both exclusive games being made by Ruffian Games and Paradox Interactive. So, I forget, one of them looked pretty neat. I forget which one, though. Hellblade from Ninja Theory is a multi-platform game, but it's coming first to PlayStation 4. That game could be cool. I mean, they had a really nice trailer there. I'd like to see some gameplay. Ninja Theory makes some very cool games. Heavenly Sword was cool, and I heard Enslaved was good. And, they're good at making action games, so this could be a pretty cool game. DayZ is coming to PlayStation 4, so I'm sure that'll be chaotic as fuck. The Dark Below, which is the first expansion for Destiny, launches in December. And they also came up and said that Destiny is the most pre-ordered IP in history. Ever. Far Cry 4 got a new gameplay thing. You can have a tiger kill shit for you. How badass is that? It showed off some new areas like Sam was talking about. Shadow of Mordor got a new trailer and exclusive content on PlayStation. Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain got a new demo of a cardboard box, and you would think that's the least interesting thing in the world, but it was fucking amazing. Then probably the big thing of their conference was System Update 2.0, which one lets you find friends by searching, and they'll recommend friends, so I can maybe have more friends now. Friends! Because you can have like 2,000 friends on PlayStation, I have 8.
It's okay, I have like 4.
Yeah.
No, I have 5. I forgot Luke got an Xbox. I have a PlayStation. I have 5 now.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can do that. You can directly upload to YouTube now. But then the biggest thing is the share play thing, which basically, say, Keith has Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, and I'm like, Keith, I really want to play with you, but I don't have the game. Well, now I can play the game with him. He can invite me somehow. Somehow this shit works, and it's kind of like a virtual couch in a way, and I can play the game with him, hopefully. And also, if I'm playing The Last of Us, and I'm really stuck, and I'm like, Keith, you passed this part. Can you just get me past this part? We can somehow hook this shit up and he's still at his house and I'm still at my house. This is all happening at our houses. Over the fucking interwebs. And he can take over my game and get me through this part or something. I still feel there's so much unknowns about this. But it is so fucking cool on paper. And I hope it could be a seriously big thing. And I am super stoked to find out more about that. Anyways, PlayStation Now comes to Europe in 2015. PlayStation TV launching. I forget whether if it was in Europe or I have down for Europe. It might be worldwide.
99 euros.
For November 14th. Until Dawn, which was like a PlayStation 3 game with PlayStation Move shit. It's now coming to PlayStation 4. It's a horror game about some friends in a fucking house and they get murdered. And supposedly it's very like choice driven too. It seems cool, but it seems like I would shoot my pants over. Drive Club showed off the social features, the gameplay, the weather effects, and I have a Woody over that. Me and Frank have huge Woodies over that. I want a racing game really bad. Tearaway Unfold from Media Molecule. Tearaway was on the Vita. No one bought it, even though supposedly it was a really great game. So it's coming to PlayStation 4 with the smartest use of the PlayStation 4 controller you'll probably ever find. Such as the light bar shining in the game as maybe like a flashlight. The touchpad has a ton of functionality. I want to know more about this game. It seems interesting. And I'm sure that'll be a very big exclusive next year. There's a lot of really big PlayStation exclusives next year. And then Alienation from Housemarque Games, the people that made Dead Nation and Resogun, new game. That's awesome. And then Wild, which Sam kind of talked about, is the new PS4 exclusive from Wild Sheep Studios. And the director of that game created Rayman and created Beyond Good and Evil. Game looks interesting. And then also Journey and The Unfinished Swan are coming to PlayStation 4. So many games today.
Also, I think it might not have happened during the conference, but one other thing got happened. I think they showed off. Got happened. I think they showed off Bloodborne.
Bloodborne, yeah.
They showed off gameplay for that.
Yeah,
so.
in the beginning. I forgot to put that down. I knew about that. What do you think?
Well, I think.
What do you think?
Obviously the biggest thing from this is the share play. That's something that's been talked about from day one with this console. And I honestly kind of forgot about it until this point. And then they brought it up and I was like, oh yeah, we're supposed to be able to do that. And that's just really cool. Like, I've been waiting for something like that. Like, I think Xbox One has something kind of like that already, but it's not like, oh yeah, Xbox One, you can watch a friend play a game.
Yeah.
In which they just stream it to you, you can just watch them play.
Yeah.
But at least now you can, like Tyler said, you can... I'm fucking stuck in Infamous, and he's like, just kill these bitches. And so he just hops in and kills the bitches. And I'm like, thanks. Far Cry 4 looks awesome. I'm definitely going to have to pick that up. Bloodborne, again, is a cool game. When they showed off a bunch of their indie games, I noticed one weird game that I tried that I didn't think I'd like was on there, which is Papers, Please, which is, you know, you're acting as a border patrol person for some country behind the Iron Curtain, and literally all it is you have to check people's passports to see if you can let them in the country or not. That's basically the entire game, and it's.
I heard it was really good.
Yeah, because like you have a family, so you have to let a certain number of people through, and that's how you feed your family. And it's like, it's hard because there's so many things you have to look for, and you only have a time limit. But I mean, other than that, there wasn't much else that caught my eye with Sony. I'm trying to remember some of the other stuff they talked. Oh yeah, well, DayZ, which I'm excited for, coming to PS4 is awesome.
Is that going to be free to play?
I don't know. I think it probably. I mean, the Arma 2 mod. I mean, I guess it kind of was, but I don't know. I hope it is. It'd be cool. Because DayZ is basically take the feeling of The Last of Us, just get rid of all the cinematics. You make your own story. You got to go kill zombies and fight people and survive, and it's like permadeath. You die. You have to start all over. You got to find supplies again, and it sucks. But, yeah, that's kind of it for me, to be honest.
I'm an idiot, and I didn't realize I talked about all the PlayStation 4 games earlier when we were just talking about Xbox. I just realized it. I didn't notice while I was talking about it, so I just rewind it and listen to it again.
We'll just put a loop. We'll put a loop.
Yeah, you blew it.
That's what got happened.
That's what got happened.
You didn't talk about Wild, Keith.
It's alright. It looks cool. I don't know if I'll play it.
It's a good game, right?
I'll talk about Wild. I want to know more about Wild, but it seems fucking wild. Like, I just feel like it could be one of those games where you just explore, and you just have fun, and you explore, and you kind of write your own fucking story. And, yeah. Like, I want to know more about it. That's all I'll put it there, but I'm extremely intrigued by it. It could be a good game.
It did kind of seem like it sort of had a story. Like that one guy was carrying someone that was like dead or something. I didn't really pick up like what the story was. It was just kind of like different stuff happening. Like, I don't know, stuff.
Yeah. But, I mean, just... If I had to make a list of the most intriguing upcoming games, that might be at the top of my list. Because I really want to know more about it. Alienation from Housemarque Games. I'm going to play the living fuck out of. That game's going to be amazing. I didn't know that those dudes made Resogun and Dead Nation, two games that I probably played a shit ton on PS4, so that's awesome. Drive Club looks really, really good. I've been wanting a racing game on PS4 for a really long time, or just play a racing game in general again. I don't fucking care what system it's on. I mean, yeah, Mario Kart, but I'm talking more of a, that type, more realistic type. I like those games. There was more. Until Dawn looks like it could be very, very cool. And also, the vanishing of Ethan Carter could be very cool. Almost everything they showed off I thought could be pretty interesting. And the thing is, at first I was kind of underwhelmed. But the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, yeah, a lot of these games look cool. And the thing that I like that Sony's doing is that they're really investing in new experiences. New and unique experiences and just new games that most of the indie games, to be honest with you, I probably would have never played if I wouldn't have had PlayStation Plus or anything.
Yeah.
They hand it out for free, but some of them are so good, like Dead Nation, Resogun, Trying to, Pixel Junk's not that bad. Like, some of them are really good, and they're turning me more onto indie games and stuff, so I just think that's awesome that they're investing more in new experiences. Not that Xbox isn't as well, but Sony's really going after the indies, which is cool. And yeah, shared play looks awesome. I just want to know more specifics on how it works. So hopefully they'll put out something soon and detail that and show that more. Yeah, I mean, they just showed off more games. Both of these conferences were fantastic. I think Microsoft was probably a little bit better. They showed off more of what I expected and more of kind of what I wanted to see, while Sony was like, this is what you will want to play eventually, and I didn't see any of these games coming at all. So
the conferences, I kind of feel the same thing. I was severely underwhelmed by both parties, I felt at first, but then thinking about it, it got better. But my only gripe was that for a lot of the big things, which, I mean, both E3 and here, there was a lot of time spent on introducing these games, new games that were like, you're going to like. It wasn't the games that we already know we like. It was the games that we know you're going to like. But there wasn't like that
big game.
And in some ways, especially the big games that were there, it just kind of felt like E3 Part 2.
Both conferences, both at E3 and here, and it just felt like they didn't end with that bang that you're used to them ending with, Like, oh, one more thing, and they show off this huge fucking game. You can maybe say that with Uncharted 4 with Sony, but we already knew about that. If they wouldn't have teased Uncharted when the PlayStation 4 launched, then people would be like, whoa! But we kind of saw it coming. But I completely agree.
But like a lot of stuff with like Tomb Raider and Far Cry 4, like I said, it just kind of felt like almost just like E3 Part 2. And Gamescom is supposed to be this growing thing. It's supposed to be like the next, the second E3. But like, it's at least this one to me just seemed like it's E3 Part 2.
That's probably what it's going to be.
But I mean, like, instead of becoming its own identity, like Gamescom kind of rivaling, instead of being like a supplementary to E3, being like basically that, like a second E3 instead of just a Part 2.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
So
in ways though,
E3 is E3.
in ways though, Microsoft kind of showed off the same stuff a little bit, while Sony showed completely brand new things that they didn't even show once in E3,
Yeah.
Like, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, I mean, I see where you're coming from with that.
What real quick, what's the vanishing of Ethan Carter? What's that about? Like, does he get kidnapped or something, or
He
I don't
vanishes,
really know.
and you have to find out.
If it's like aliens or something, that could be kind of cool. But
Like, yeah,
no, that's
That's
what
another
I
one
thought
of
at
those,
first, like if
it's
you
intriguing
about
games.
aliens.
yeah, I agree. And Far Cry 4 looks great.
Far Cry. Yeah,
I'm glad there's new areas, because that was the one thing about Far Cry 3 I didn't like, is like the jungle looked the same all the time. But now there's snow, there's jungles, there's like Shangri-La, there's a whole bunch of different areas.
Yeah,
and
like
there's tigers and elephants.
yeah, like the one thing I'm looking forward to is like kind of like I said earlier, how they have like elephants now, since it's like a different like place, like the new animals that they could have, like more animals, like it's just because like it was cool going through Far Cry 3 and like there's water buffalo and or just some type of buffalo that they had, and then there was like crocodiles that I never ran into, and there was bears and stuff, and it's just something new. It should be kind of fresh and have like branch out, have a lot of different stuff, and like maybe like you can like get stuff from snakes now, and then have like different kinds of snakes, and like stuff like that. Like the hunting could be pretty cool, because that was a pretty cool thing, like all the animals and stuff in the game, and there's like a bunch of stuff like that, so it feels like more wildlifey and
Plus the story seems good again too, which is cool. And plus co-op, taking over those camps with a buddy.
They do is play Coop.
Yeah, like dude, you set this shit on fire, and I'll go this way. Disable alarm, infinite possibilities. Really quick, number one thing that you're most excited about out of today, but I can't talk.
Today, but
what was the biggest thing?
Shared play. Yeah, why do I keep saying shared play?
I don't know. I don't know. It's like, because Far Cry 4, you already heard about that, and I guess Wild seemed pretty cool. I want to know more about it before I get too excited, but I guess Wild, because a lot of other stuff I already heard about, so it kind of lessens the excitement, like what Keith was talking about, how it's just kind of like E2.
E3-2 is E3-2.
Yeah. E6. To me, I can't pick one, but I'll just say Rise of the Tomb Raider and share play. Wieners. Till next time. Gamescom. What else is left? There's PAX Prime. There's
PAX
TGS. And
PAX
there's
East.
maybe the fucking
VGX?
VGX.
Oh,
They haven't
stupid,
set a
man.
date for that, so I don't maybe.
When was it last year?
It was
December.
December. Maybe that goes back to the VGAs and it's like actually makes sense this year. Maybe.
Yeah,
I don't
so
know.
Balls. Video games.
Wieners. Balls, wieners. And Blizzard.
Scrotum.